122.
Much better.
Much better. It's been a while.
Yeah, we haven't recorded in a long time.
Happy New Year, I suppose. I guess it's already been a New Year to your listeners, but it's a New Year to us.
Oh, you mean like since we haven't recorded since the New Year?
Yeah, it was December something or other last time I recorded.
So we went to, over the New Year's, we went to Patagonia.
Yep.
Technically we went to Chile, but then Patagonia we're talking about Patagonia more so than Chile?
Oh, well, stuff happened in both, I suppose.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So things happened.
Yeah. Highly recommend. It's beautiful down there. But yeah.
The energy, I would say, is like, one, you're traveling, right? So I can say like how much of it is just energy, how much of you being outside of your element, and then things coming up, right? But I do think, one, it was the New Year turn, and two, I think it was like things needed to move, but the energy there is very primed for moving.
Yeah.
Like I'm just comparing like other places we have traveled, especially in Patagonia.
Yeah. Well, and plus you had said that, the New Year, it's going to be.
Well, this is the final push to release everything.
Final countdown.
Sure. To release everything that you don't want to drag forward. And I told you this, but I heard somebody mention association of like the year of the snake versus the year of the horse with this. So if you believe in astronomology,
astronomology,
there's some associations there. But I do not think the final push, like people say that you have until the Chinese New Year, which is the switch between the snake and the horse.
When is that?
February 17th.
Okay. Oh, we got a whole month left.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the case.
Oh my God, I can relax for a month now. Don't have to do any work.
No, I don't think that's the case. I think like this final push is still a January thing. It is not a February thing. And so yeah. So like I said, like, oh, this is kind of like the final choice into the bifurcation of like where you're going into. And so, for us, I think I said that. And then we're traveling, obviously, which, so no yoga, no meditation, or at least minimal meditation. And so, that tends to bring things up.
Yeah.
And this one, I think more so than, I don't know if it's more so. It was more gentler, but like it was more eye-opening.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm kind of like in a different place afterwards. So where, not that the things that came up what put me in the final place. It was like, there was like this final overview. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's all nonsense. It's just all nonsense.
There's a lot of nonsense.
Yeah. So do you actually want to talk about what came up for you or not?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. I guess, if we step back a couple of years, we went to Peru. And before we went to Peru, I'm like, ooh, what's going to be awesome? I'm going to learn Spanish, and that's going to be so great. And I'll learn it, and I'll be so impressive, and everybody will love me. I realized that very quickly after I started learning it, and I'm like, oh, that's not a great reason to learn it.
I don't know if you realized it really quickly.
I did realize it. I really did realize that the whole goal of me learning it was that it would be impressive. That was the entire reason. Turns out, not that impressed. My Spanish goal is not that impressive, and yeah, so here we are a couple years later, and I can order food. I know enough to be dangerous, but I can't understand. I know what to say, but I cannot understand when people talk. And so we were in Santiago, and there's a museum of pre-Columbian history, which both of us really wanted to go to, except we get there on, I guess Monday's the first day, and they're closed on Mondays. And then Tuesday, we take a drive out to Valparaiso. And so we're not in the city. And then Wednesday, is it Wednesday that's New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve, yeah.
New Year's Eve, Wednesday, you know, the Googles says that it's open until 5 p.m., you know, like 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. or something. And you're like, you know, I don't know if that's, if, you know, because it's New Year, you know, all the times are up for grabs. You know, who knows? So I'm like, ooh, I'll call because, you know, I hablo.
I said we should call.
You said we should call.
Yes.
Okay.
But you decided to hablo.
I decided to hablo. And, you know, probably they spoke English. If they spoke any...
Probably.
If they
At
spoke
the end, she switched to English.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
She said, okay. I think that's a universal language. We've learned that okay is a universal language. And, you know, I asked, are they open today? And they said, yes, they're open today. Then they said a bunch of stuff that I didn't get. Turns out it was important because what they said was, we close at 1:30 or last admission at 1:30 or something like that. Because when we finally arrived at 2:00, they wouldn't let us in. And I'm like, oh, that's probably what they said in Spanish that I didn't get. Yeah. And so you seemed upset about missing the museum. I was upset about missing the museum too. But it just really showed me how...
I was more upset about you being an idiot than the museum.
Well, I figured that was part of it too.
No, that was the primary part. Because I can dictate and allow the universe to go, okay, it's not meant to be for some reason. I don't know why. But on the other end of it, in the 3-dimensional form, is here's a, you know, you being an idiot.
Yeah.
And I say that, like, I know that sounds rude to me to say being an idiot, but like at this point in my lifetime, anything that is classified as just like pure nonsense without any awareness, it generates disaster.
Seems like it.
No, and it will continue. Like, that's what I'm saying. The final push is to see what is it that you do, because it does generate disaster. But like after it sets in, then disaster is going to be the only thing that it generates. Do you see what I mean?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The difference is, if for the last 5 years or 20 years or 40 years, or even if you go back into our parents' lifetimes, you know, baby boomers' years, you can be an idiot, right? But when I say an idiot, this is not out of rudeness, but like you can behave blindly out of unprocessed emotional trauma or pain. And then like the outcomes of that like reverberate very like in a wide waveform. The waveform of the disaster that comes out of it has a really long breath. And so it travels further, but very gently. And what's happening is the further is gone. And so imagine the waveform having to be the same length, but you just go, and so if you like just compress this waveform
the amplitude's higher.
But yeah, so you compressing this waveform that used to take a long time, and you compressing it in. And so how quick the disaster strikes and how much it is just, it will be ginormous.
Right.
Like nothing will seem gentle because the compression of the waveform. And so the reason why I say idiocities, it is totally does not have to be the case if somebody chooses to act out of awareness and then process their emotional flow out of awareness. Right? But if you don't, and then you allow blindness to seep through, this gentleness has lost its traction. And so it will just be this amplified, disaster in a very quick response format. So yeah, I mean, museum or no museum, like that wasn't even the thing. I mean, to some extent, to me, I saw it. I'm like, oh, look, as a child, I like didn't get a lot of things in my life that I actually wanted. And I didn't even communicate that I wanted them. It was just like, oh, it would have been really nice if the universe made this happen.
Yeah.
And so I felt like a wounded child. And so part of the anger was that.
Yeah.
But that was more of like me crying. So the reason I was crying is because of that. But the other half of it is, look, I'm once again next to idiotic behavior of Elliot, which is a trust issue for me.
Right. So the trust issue, it was clear that was being poked on your end, but then my response to your response was, just low grade panic, right? It's just because when you react like that, I interpret it as, oh, I have failed, and failure equals no love. That is just straight where I go with it. And so that was like panic inducing to me. And that whole drive to the next the next place, which was also closed, was a very silent drive, and I kind of got to reflect on like, look at this. Look how much of my mental state is being driven by your mental state, which is not healthy. And then look, your mental state was driven by my desire to, be super awesome. And
I think any desire for super awesome should be like a red flag for everyone.
Yeah.
Including you.
Yeah, no, it really should be.
Like the whole concept of super awesome, like the whole concept of something for something is already a red flag.
Right.
Anything for anything is a red flag.
Because it doesn't make any sense now why I would do that. But in the moment, it was like, oh, I don't know, like it was prove something to myself just as much as it was prove something to anybody else. Like prove that I can, prove that I'm good enough in some capacity. It was, none of which was required or needed or even wanted by anybody there. So it was,
no, but that's what I'm saying. It behaving out of idiotic responses of blindness generates idiotic outcomes.
yeah.
Like it's as simple as that. Like there's no brain science needed to diagnose this.
Yeah. No,
If you're being an idiot and doing something out of an idiotic behavior, what do you expect? The stars and the moon? Yeah, but it's just, is compressed, right? So it's immediate. It's immediate feedback loop.
Oh, it was quick. It was quick. Which, I mean, I guess is between quick or drawn out over days, weeks, months. Quick is probably better. It's better to have quicker feedback, as uncomfortable as it was.
Yeah. I mean, but soon there will be like no loop. Like we still have a little loop left.
Yeah.
Soon there will be no loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah. No, it just shows how quickly blindness generates chaos. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, like on the grand scheme of things, as I was triggered into unsafety, like the story of you and I, and we already talked about it, but I'll just repeat it here. Like has like only one story. Like you do shit in order to feel loved, and that makes me feel like I can't trust you. And so like,
and that makes me feel like you don't love me.
Yeah. and then that makes me feel like I can't trust you more. So like, there's like quite literally
we're perfect for each other.
No, it is like an absolute antithetical circumstances to any improvement.
Right.
And so like I had a dream, I don't remember if it was still on the trip or not, maybe since then, that like our relationship And the word that came was burdened, right? And I thought, oh my gosh, it is absolutely perfect because it what it like showed, through all of these interaction points is that as you're struggling in your desire to be loved or to feel safe or to have someone there to make you feel that, right? I'm just struggling with like, leave me the fuck alone because your behavior is absolutely untrustworthy. Do you know what I mean? Which is my thing, right? Like my thing is there's no such thing as trusting people. And your thing is just like, I don't know, gotta prove that there's such thing as, I don't know what, love. But I mean, like as you explore that more.
Right. That's not the right word.
Yeah, right. It's not love.
That's not the right. When I was, I guess, a few years ago, that was the word that I used because I didn't have a better word. And, when I was young, it wasn't like a conscious, oh, look what I'm doing because I want to get loved. It wasn't that. It was just, I don't even know what the word is.
Yeah.
I mean, validation is in there. Reassurance is in there. Attention is in there.
I think it's safety.
Safety is in there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there is a perfect word for
it. But like, it comes down to your child is just screaming bloody murder on the inside and crying.
Yeah.
How does a child feel? It's not loved.
It's unsafe.
It's unsafe. Like right. The child did not have a definition for that word.
It's unsafe, but it's not like it's unsafe in my specific flavor of unsafe. I'm not unsafe because I don't have food or I don't have shelter. It's unsafe because I don't feel like I'm getting something from people.
From someone. This goes back to the someone.
From someone.
Right. The Gabor Mate theory of like the second that someone did not come when you were crying fast enough and you felt like you don't even know what you feel or you don't have a vocabulary for your thoughts other than panic. It's just like generalized panic. Right. When I go into the field of like my child's self, that is where child was left. And it's just like generalized panic. And when I tell you, it's like, it's all consuming, right? And I use the word short circuiting, right? Is because that's how it felt to me. It felt like it was all consuming. It was just panic. It's undefined. Like your child, you like, let's say even an infant, you have nothing to do. In my case, I'm bundled, into like some sort of vice grip. Cocoon, right? Like, so you can't even move to express your, like, you know what I mean? And like, if I think I've said this before, when you go deep into like the childhood trauma where it's just like pure onset panic without any definition,
yeah.
I don't know. It's like, it doesn't have any words. It's just like, panic is the best word that I can use in English to describe it. I don't even know what word I would use in Russian. But yeah, it leads to, like in my case, it leads to short circuiting, right? Because no amount of screaming and crying solves it. And and when you cry yourself to sleep enough times, like the brain becomes permanently damaged. Let's just be honest. Like all of us have spent time where we cried ourselves to sleep as children without understanding of what is happening.
Yeah.
Right. Like as an adult, you're laying and you're crying and you can actually like go, oh, okay, this and this and this and that. And then like you feel sorry for yourself or whatever. But you have a context of words and thoughts and logic, and you can kind of like self-soothe through general understanding of what is happening.
Yeah.
But as a child, there's no self-soothing. You don't even have context. You don't even have idea of words. It's just pure panic. And 3D Earth is a very dense place. So as children, we come in, from our light body, and it's like rainbows and butterflies, quite literally. And then all of a sudden, we crammed into this reality that is extremely like a vice pushing on you. It feels like a vice pushing on you all the time. And so it's already shocking just to be alive as a human in 3-dimensional space. right? Coming in. And then on top of that is something happens that is unpleasant in any way, and we don't have like criteria for, wait, what does it mean unpleasant? What do you mean I'm experiencing unpleasant things? We're like grappling with adult concepts as like babies. And like that fucks you over. Like that's just like the summary. The summary is coming into Earth and the density of Earth, and then being a child and having a moron responsible for you, because all adults are morons. Like we're morons right now.
Oh, yeah.
And like any random moron now has you and they're responsible for your well-being without any trauma training, without any like, here's what it means for a light being to come in into a 3-dimensional form. Like there's no one-on-one on that. It's like the goal is please fuck him over as much as possible, as soon as possible. And I think that's the goal.
It's like, oh, you have to get certified to drive a car or to cut hair, but you want to have a baby? All right, go for it. There's no training.
Well, no. What's worse is
it's like, oh my gosh.
Back in my parents' era and your parents' era, and mine are even worse because they're in Soviet Union. You're just surviving. Like mine were just surviving. So the idea of like trauma processing or like awareness or like thought beyond like, am I going to get food and heat tomorrow?
It sounds like a great idea. One more mouth to feed.
Right.
I don't know how any of us are alive at all.
No, it's
let alone sane.
That's what my point is. Experience Earth is designed to be visceral, and it starts right away. Like it starts the second you are born, and there's no context for how you feel. Like right now you can go, shit, that feels visceral. Like the panic is just visceral.
Yeah.
I feel utmost danger larger than dying. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
Like as a human being, I can comprehend the idea of death, but what I felt as a child was beyond that.
No, I know what you mean. There are things in my life that have felt scarier than death.
Yeah.
Bigger than death.
And that's why people commit suicide, because death is actually a relief from all of this.
Right. I mean, it's like, I don't
recommend suicide.
No, I don't either. But, if, take a bullet for your wife or son or daughter or something, it's like, yeah, that sounds easy. That sounds a lot easier than living at times.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. So, right. So what came out of that whole experience for me, besides like, oh, look, I'm back in this mistrust, just like this greater understanding that our relationship is burdened by that status quo. Like our entire entity that is our relationship, one has been formed and continues to exist in the idea, stuck cycle. It will never leave. That I will never trust you, and everything you do is counterproductive to me seeing any sign of trust that I can get from you. And to you, anything that I do is proof that you're not lovable and will never be lovable. And I don't know, whatever your nuances of that bullshit is.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you have been together long enough, which we have, right? The relationship that functioned in the same cycle, same story, it's the same story, right? The story never changes, right? It becomes its own entity. And in our case, the entity is like overburdened with the past. And that's it. Like there's nowhere to go. One, arguably, there should not be an entity that is the relationship, right? Like if you're living self from the moment of now, then like this moment should carry into the next moment. And then your moment of you should carry into the next moment. And then the idea of a relationship shouldn't be an entity and self. It should be just the two moments, if we're happen to be proximity to each other, bouncing off of each other.
Interacting, interfacing.
Yeah. But it is not creating an entity, right? But like, because there's no time and space, because the past has to be there as the proof of why the future will be fucked up, you create an entity in order to drag the past into the future with you. Like, oh, look, I have an evidence of the last 25 years where Tanya did not love me. And I have evidence of the last 25 years why Elliot could not be trusted. And anything else is just another point put into this entity bucket of mistrust / unlove. And that's it. Like, quite literally, like, nothing can exist in our relationship other than that. That is the entity. The summary, if you had to go, oh, here's the concise, instead of reading the 600-page repetitive nonsense, what's the grand summary? Oh, he's not loved and she can't trust this bullshit. That's it.
I know we talked about this a couple of days ago, and I was really on team entity at that time.
Were or not?
I was on team entity. That, of course, relationships form entities, and that's kind of the goal. I don't know right now. I'm less convinced of that as I've had time to kind of sink into my own stuff.
Well, no, in this case, the entity is not a positive thing by any means.
Right. No, I was making the point that the interaction between two people forms a third party entity.
It should not.
And my point was that was a normal and good thing. And now I don't know. I'm less convinced of that.
Okay, fine. I mean, let's play devil's advocate. How is it normal?
I mean, we have a name for it.
What is it?
Relationship.
Okay.
Marriage, partnership, whatever.
Okay.
So it has a name.
But if you and I start today, like from scratch, what is the next step into tomorrow?
Right. There doesn't have to be, or certainly doesn't have to be defined. It's just what happens.
No, like, right. So think about this. When I am in my teens and then 20s and I meet you, I have no idea what love is, right?
As opposed to now.
Well, I can tell you what it's not.
I can tell you what it's not. There we go. That's what we've learned.
Right. I have no idea what love is. And in the long run, what I'm looking for is this Hollywood / like this idea of completion, right? Like, right. The whole Hollywood sales pitch is you will find someone who will complete you, right?
Yeah.
Which, if you say that out loud right now, after you and I have done our spiritual awareness work, that is like the most fucked up thought ever.
Right. It's offensive even.
Yes, it is. It is like, oh my God, you can't say that.
Right.
But I admit that in my 20s, I thought, yeah, like when you look into somebody's eyes, oh my God, there's like this whole other half that is you in there. And like, it was just complete nonsense. Complete nonsense. But looking back now is because I had all of these things that I thought I did not have in my life myself.
That you could get out of the relationship?
That the relationship would offer. I'm not even saying this was conscious, right? This is subconscious thought that I thought the relationship would be there to facilitate not the experience of, but the completion thereof.
Right. Because a relationship does facilitate experiences. And it does facilitate some things. It facilitates, I'm trying to think of something that isn't mind-numbingly trivial and will work for, any two random people. But sure, because it's that, and I guess more like.
Well, like to say back then, and not even that far off from today, I would say, oh, well, the relationship is there to make you feel loved.
I would have said that too.
Yeah. But now you're like, shit, that's not it at all.
No.
That's fucked up.
If anything, the relationship is there to show you all the ways that you don't feel loved so that ideally you can take that opportunity to try to fix your own shit.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it's there for. It's there, the intersection of two people is to point out all the nonsense going on inside of each of us. And
but the cross section is not love. It is the opposite thereof.
Because two people get together and I don't know, 99 times out of 100, every time, maybe. The intersection of, what I want and need out of a relationship and what I can offer and what you want and need out of a relationship and what you can offer, it has some interesting ways that feed it and interesting ways that poison it. Right? You can't trust me, and that makes me feel unloved. And then me feeling unloved ends up making you trust me less. And it's like,
There's nowhere to go.
Right. Once you
stuck.
realize it's some sort of, toilet flush, that's not, if you're trying to get that out of a relationship, that you're not going to get that out of a relationship.
Well, you're going to get, in the long run, on the right journey, I guess, you will get the showcase that is not love. And what you're trying to get out of a relationship is something that has nothing to do with love. Like if I ascend to the higher point of vibration and I go, yes, it is love. The whole point of Earth is to have experience. So then you see everything through the lens of love. But on the 3-dimensional sense, what you thought that was love, it's not love. It's actually proof that you don't love yourself.
I think that's where it all goes. I mean, that's certainly where it goes for me, is it's all proof that I don't love myself.
Yeah, but is it love, you don't love yourself, or the deep down you don't feel safe?
At times it's like at times it's I don't even like myself. But yeah, right. It's all,
you, like, I could be wrong, but you, on the male scale of discovery, you would need to come across like strong and like you have your shit together. And because you were raised without a voice, right? Because having a voice means I was not going to get loved. That is the opposite of what social norm male scale is. A man is supposed to have a voice. A man's supposed to have balls. A man's supposed to have, I don't know what the fuck man's supposed to have. Right?
Right.
So, like, you don't love yourself because you think you don't have a voice. And you don't have a voice, therefore you're not like a proper human being. But you measure human being against a scale of a male. Especially your generational male. Do you know what I mean? Right. Because the modern idea of a male is somebody like the joke thing that I sent you, somebody who, who's aware and awake and possibly raises chickens and eats, eats organic vegetables from their garden. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like your generation didn't have that in it. Do you know what I mean? You as a child being raised in trauma were raised with the male being, I don't know, somebody who has a voice.
Right. No,
and somebody who has strength.
The idea of masculinity has changed a lot over the last 40 years.
Yeah, but your evaluation of self has not.
My evaluation of self has not. I don't know that it was even compared to that. I think it was compared to what do I think will make me not feel so bad. And I don't know that the idea of some sort of ideal man was really part of it.
What was it?
I don't know if socially uncomfortable is the right word, but like not able to, not having a voice. I wasn't that, to me, that wasn't some sort of masculine attribute. That was just like, I always just saw that as a character flaw in myself. Not character flaw in myself as a man, just character flaw in myself as a human. It wasn't a masculine thing.
Yeah, but then how does your father pipe into this?
I mean, he had it too. And so I don't feel like I had a great male role model growing up either.
But it's that.
I didn't realize that until much later.
But my point is, the forms are shaped before any processing or actualization.
Yeah,
Do you
I
see
guess
what
I never connected it to a masculinity thing.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, your logic flow makes sense. I get it, but I don't know, that it doesn't feel like it's tied to that to me. It was more fundamental than that as a human instead of as a man.
Maybe.
It was like, oh, here are the flaws in myself. Here you go. This is the evidence that I'm broken and unworthy and unlovable. There you go. And that had nothing to do with being a man at all. It was that's just the nature of me.
Yeah.
I never thought, oh, I should be like this because men are like this. It was always, I wish I was like this because then I wouldn't feel like shit.
Still raw.
Still raw, right?
I feel like shit in which way?
It's weird because a lot of it is like societal stuff. Like way too much of it is societal stuff. So much of it is, what I think other people will think. A lot of it has been that, this like double projection. I'm projecting what I think they're projecting type of, 3D chess game, which is, a lot of it is clearly overthinking things that, everyone's afraid, what everyone's thinking about them. And the truth is nobody's thinking about you at all.
I'm not afraid of anybody thinking about me.
I know you're not. I love that about you. But I was always afraid about what everybody else was thinking about me.
Because everybody else's love is necessary for you to survive.
Yes.
But right, so it's not everybody else, is you're wanting something from them in order to survive.
Right. If they think positively of me, then they like me, love me, appreciate me, see me at the very least. And if they do, I can take that as evidence that maybe after all, I am actually worth being loved, worth being seen, worth something. So,
but it comes down to survival.
I'm looking for evidence that I'm actually okay out there.
You're okay
because I don't feel like I'm okay inside.
Because somebody acknowledges your existence.
Right.
I mean, you have
and survive is weird. I know what you mean, and it feels like that's probably right. But like, survive is.
But if you take if you take a concept of a group of people and you're invisible to them.
Sure. I mean, some sort of tribal situation where you're shunned out of the group.
Don't even imagine a tribal situation. Imagine just like you're invisible. You're invisible, but you need somebody.
Yeah, but you need somebody is the part. Right?
But as a child,
when
you're laying in a fucking crib,
you need somebody.
And your mother refuses to breastfeed you.
You need somebody.
Right. So like that is when the idiocity is formed.
Right. And so I have continued to feel like I need somebody. But there's nobody there. At times there is, but I also know that while it may feel good in the moment, it doesn't last. It doesn't solve it. It's just shoveling more stuff into a bottomless pit.
Yeah, I think the goal there is to sit with, look, why I need somebody. Right? Like the child is screaming bloody murder or is refusing to scream bloody murder because that's counterintuitive to like throat functioning.
Right.
And lungs continue to work. Right. Because there's only so much screaming you could do.
Right. Or worse, if you scream, you might scare them away. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, I never had that. Like screaming equals scaring people away.
I think I figure that out really early was that, it's not that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. It's that the nail that stands out gets hit type of a thing.
Wait, what?
Yeah, what is it? The squeaky wheel gets the grease, which means that, if you make noise, you're going to actually get your problem solved. Right?
Okay.
Whereas, the nail that's sticking out is the one that gets hit. So if you're standing out in some sort of negative way, and I interpreted, having a voice as standing out in a negative way, then that wouldn't work out well for me in some capacity, because nobody wants a complainer, or right, which me expressing myself, I equated to complaining. I would just be complaining if I said what I actually wanted.
And she didn't want you to complain. Why?
I don't even know if that's true.
No, but then if you complain, then what?
I don't know. I don't know that I did very much at all. I really didn't.
Well, no, to begin with, you would have tried.
I'm sure, but
And so what was the outcome?
I have no idea. I cannot remember a time when I did it.
What if you imagined a scenario that you complained?
I don't
as a child?
There's probably a time that I can think of where I did. Okay, there were times when I did, but it was, it was some combination of you're misinterpreting it, or this is actually for your own good, or well, we know better, or well, too bad, or it was dismissed.
So having a voice does not generate productive outcomes.
That has been my experience in life. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't get hit. It's just
no hit is the wrong. Just like grease is the wrong. It's not literally hit. I don't mean to say I was hit from it.
No, but like that's punishment. Hit is punishment. You think it's punishment.
Yeah. I think I could have worded that better.
Oh no, I think you miscategorized what it is. Is if you say enough things as a child and then nothing gets derived from you saying them.
What's the point?
Well, then you just showcase to yourself that, look, I have needs, but my needs are not being met, or in your case, even heard.
Yeah.
And so if the needs are not being met or heard, you have to realize that you are in a situation where you're stuck. As a child, you can't do anything about it. Well, you were the set of morons who's not acknowledging your needs, or cannot even comprehend that they need to like acknowledge the fact that they hear you and then explain to you why this is not something that will happen, right, as an adult.
Right. Right, because right, yeah.
But that makes you feel trapped. Right? Like in my case, I can relate to that. And I would say, oh yeah, that made me feel trapped and hopeless.
Trapped? I felt trapped. I wanted to get out of there as soon as possible.
Yeah, but trapped and hopeless leads to, right, I don't have a voice, at least not with this set of people. I feel trapped and hopeless. And like to me, that goes back to the feeling as a child being bound up in my blankets, short-circuiting from screaming. I'm trapped. It's this exact same feeling.
Yeah. I don't have to me, there's no physical component of it. You have a physically, almost restrained type of a thing that you keep tying it to.
Restraint is my physical interpretation, but that's how I felt energetically.
Right. To me, it is a, I'm going to use the word emotional. It isn't even restrained. It's like, it's trapped. Maybe that's the same thing as restrained. It's pointless and futile. And
yeah, but think about this. If the definition is pointless and futile,
right,
you already have a definition that nothing ever will be not pointless and futile.
Does that follow? That nothing ever will be pointless and futile?
If you're forming your opinions as a child, and the child does not have actually logical brain network to to figure the shit out,
Yeah.
right? And like you think one scenario is an evidence for another scenario and a propagation to the next scenario, right?
Yeah.
You don't think that each scenario functions on its own, right? So the whole point of the child is you're going to start to draw evidence into why this behavior is the safest, as opposed to like, oh no, look, this does not have to be a neural pathway. Like the next set could be completely different, right?
Right. I mean, that's
So safety mechanism has you basically draw these scenarios and form. So if speaking is futile, right? If you trying to get something out of something is futile, then the belief system it's futile.
yeah. I mean, I think like I don't know that I believe that or ever believe that universally, but
In regards to love
in regards to
and safety,
people, maybe it was certainly not guaranteed, and certainly it felt risky to ask for what I wanted.
yeah, but if you started asking for what you wanted, like honestly, if you started asking for what you wanted, and they started giving you everything,
Right? What would you? I don't like. After enough time of that not happening, I don't even know if that would have been evidence of in or not. Maybe, I don't know.
well, just like this is going back to like positive feedback versus negative feedback. No positive feedback will ever register, look, I'm actually getting what I want. If the definition is lack of and everybody else's effort is futile and nothing is enough,
Yeah.
you will only register that if
Right.
that is a preset belief system.
And that's the thing, is that after enough, and it probably doesn't take too much of that negative reinforcement, there's no amount of positive reinforcement that will just take care of it.
If you said the belief system that it's futile and not enough.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah. So as a child, like, right, the futile and it's never enough. That's the definition.
No, I mean, that feels like that kind of describes how I've lived my life.
No, but if you're like, my point was, if your mother came right now to you and gave you everything you wanted,
I'd be like, what are you trying to get out of this?
but let's say you believe that it's genuine and she loved you and hugged you and breastfed you and did all the things that mother's supposed to do.
Sure.
Was it ever enough? Will it ever be enough?
Like with my pre-existing damage?
No, with your preset belief system that it's never enough.
No.
It's futile.
Right.
Efforts are futile. Everybody else's efforts are futile because by default is already never enough.
Right. Yeah.
But
this
the universe can solve that.
Right. No. Because I'm going around saying, hey, give me more proof that nothing works. Give me more proof that, everything is futile. And, I'm going to go try to craft scenarios where
you're just only asking the universe for that.
Just only asking the universe for that. Help reinforce these preset notions.
No, like the message is everything is futile and nothing is enough. Show me the proof of that.
Yeah. Well, I've gotten a lot of proof of that.
I mean, you will continue to get a lot of proof of that. And very soon, like visceral amount of proof of that. If you don't confront what the presets are.
Right. It's like intellectually, I feel like I believe the opposite of that.
I think we're talking about two different people.
But that is not how I feel. Right.
I mean, you have to acknowledge the vibratory presets that you have from your childhood or your truth. and acknowledging that and letting that truth flow, as opposed to, oh, look, I'm a semi-functioning adult. That doesn't make sense. And so I'll just discount.
I know. I think that is what I've done is just completely discount how I actually feel, and at the expense of what I quote know or think I know. And so the left brain ends up running the show. My ability to logic something away or whatever ends up, it ends up running the show at the expense of the feelings, which never get expressed and only get buried.
Like,
and that's how I've lived my life, most of it.
The feelings never get expressed and get buried because the feelings are coming out of your child.
Right.
Like, you need to start expressing the feelings from way back then.
Right. Compounded by the fact that there is no logic or rational stuff when you're 2 years old. So I think that helped me kind of even justify, like, oh, well, this feels like some sort of childish response or childish feeling. Well, I'm an adult now. I don't need to worry about that. I think I kind of actively even did that throughout my life.
Yeah.
Which I now believe is fundamentally the opposite of how one should live. But no, I did that. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the feelings that you have right now, I don't think they're adult feelings.
I think you're right. I think they're child feelings that are, I mean, even if they're triggered by a present day scenario, it's like, it's directly, pulling on some sort of childhood event.
Or I think it's straight out of childhood. Like it's a child.
It's straight out of childhood.
Reacting and speaking.
There's
if you're not speaking, it's a child continuing not to speak.
Yeah.
If you're not verbalizing how you feel right now, it is not Elliot at your age not speaking. It is your child continue not to speak. And I've said that to you many times, and I've said this like on the podcast like bajillion times. There's zero benefit in not speaking. It doesn't have to be like, hey, you did this and I'm blaming you and this is all nonsense.
Right.
No, it's like, oh my gosh, hey, you said this and this is where it hit me. Like, I'm not blaming, like, but
no,
something's
that's
happening.
Like, I think I had this idea that there's this, like, there isn't even a continuum. There's this polarity of complete silence or 100% in your face, aggressive confrontation. And those are the only, it's one or the other, and there's nothing in between. When there's a whole lot of stuff in between, and maybe even not even on that axis, where.
But you will never let go of the scale or the trapped child if you don't start speaking.
Right. Like the whole, it never occurred to me that the conversation could be, it occurred to me, the conversation is silence or fuck you for saying that. Those were obvious. And I would always pick silence. But it never occurred to me that, hey, what you just said hurt me because XYZ, probably from childhood XYZ. That never occurred to me. I mean, it has occurred to me it recently, but it is that no, because like because the feelings of me as a child were, to me, proven to be irrelevant to other people. So I think that's why. So why would I bring them up now? Doesn't make sense. It's been established that nobody cares. It's been established that they have no value. They're not, why would, if I express that to you, it's like, saying, oh yeah, there's a napkin on the floor. I don't know. It's
Well, they have no
irrelevant.
value because you decided that you have no value.
Yes.
And you decide that you have no value because you've decided that no matter what happens, I need evidence that I don't have any value. Like, it all stems from a personal preset.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, you have to hold yourself responsible for, like, desire to have that preset still be the case. You want, right? Like, if you have a preset and you have a belief system, then it's comfortable. Like, you want that to continue to be the case. So you will never let go of that until you realize that it's okay to be uncomfortable without that system. Because right now, nobody will ever love me enough is your desire. Because I need proof that I'm completely unlovable and there's never enough.
Yeah. Right.
Right? Like, this is the interesting part is, you can come to a realization of, like, all kinds of things. But, like, the most difficult part is to realize, oh, I want this. And, like, people get on me about this all the time.
Yeah, I get you. I get it on you about that too.
Like, people are like, what do you mean I want this?
Right. No,
You want this.
It has taken a little while for that to sink in as actually true. Because it's like, ostensibly, I want the opposite of that, right? Ostensibly, I want everyone to love me, and that will make me feel loved, and then everything will be great, right? That's the trajectory I wanted from when I was young, right? Ta-da! I'll meet someone and they'll love me, and then I'll feel good, right? That's what I'll get out of a relationship.
And you think that's love?
But in some way, it is like the opposite.
No, it's always the opposite. If it's a dualistic view, then it's always the lesser than.
It's this like shadow part going, okay, well, you can try to do what you think you're going to do, but the rest of you is going to try to do the opposite of that, and we're going to see who wins. And it turns out that that's the one that probably always wins for everybody.
Well, no, I mean, the ask is, universe, please allow me to continue to function.
I don't feel loved. I don't feel that I'm lovable. I'm going to go make these feeble attempts to try to fix that with things that will never actually succeed in fixing that. But you just keep showing me how right I am, that nobody loves me.
No, I'm going to pretend to go make these futile attempts, deep down knowing that I want to fail and once again get proof that I'm not lovable. There's no, like, any attempt that you think is a positive attempt is actually there specifically to prove to you that once again you're not. Like, you only want reinforced. Like, there's no, you think what you're pursuing is a positive, happy situation, but what you're actually pursuing is to ensure that you remain in the status quo of what has been familiar to you.
Right.
Like, yeah, right. From your standpoint, you do not want to be in a situation where you have, like, an evaluation of enough. Because, like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, that's just, like, completely unsafe because you have never been in a situation where you have experienced this. So as a child, you're like, no, I don't want unfamiliar. I want safe and familiar. And guess what safe and familiar is? It's never enough. All efforts are futile. And that's your comfort zone.
Right. I mean, yeah, I mean, I can see that. It is some sort of twisted logic, but I can totally see it. Because it's like, oh, if I imagine, I'm whole and complete and I'm not out trying to, get love out of situations, that is scary because that is like the only thing that I know. And so not doing that, I can't even fathom not wanting to do that. So not doing that feels scary because because I completely discount the whole premise of, oh, yeah, but I feel whole and complete. Because what does that even mean? I don't even know what does that mean?
You don't want that. You want to experience what you're familiar with. And you can sing all the songs and do all the dances where it's the opposite. But no, the reinforcements of the child is, I'm very comfortable in this world that I have created. I know this world makes me feel comfortable. And then it feels like I can be productive by doing things that are relevant to me. And to me, the game is, I'm going to play with all these things of futile attempts of trying to find love and fail at it. And then that's it. That's your story in life, is going about all the ways that you're going to be denied this love.
At some point, that sounds boring.
I mean, there's thought in that sounds boring, but then you have to admit to the actions behind your comfort zone.
No, I mean, at some level, that sounds awful and boring, but I can't pretend that that's not what I've been doing my whole life.
Yeah, but the conversation we were just having yesterday, when I'm the love that Earth believes is love, right, is has nothing to do with love, right? And then there's this whole plane of existence that is just antithetical to keeping lies going. And to you, that's scary. So to even think of a scenario that is not something that you're familiar with is not an option, right? But in this case, because it unravels your entire belief system. And in your case, if you're holding on to the belief system where you have to have proof that nothing is ever enough, and you're never enough and nobody can ever fill the hole in your soul, that is your comfort zone. You are comfortable in that zone.
Right.
Your search for the chunks missing is what you want. You want the search for the chunks missing, which is, I say that, right, I said that to you yesterday. That is the whole point of Earth. Which is 99.9999% of us are just there all the time.
Yeah.
We want to pretend shit is missing, and we're on some sort of quest to find the shit.
See, and I'm I'm in a different place from when we were talking about that yesterday, the day before. I don't remember. Because then I was like,
but shit is missing.
Shit is missing. And to the point where it was difficult for me to wrap my head around possibility of otherwise. But
that's the thing, is there's no possibility of otherwise. You think that you need to at least understand the possibility of otherwise in order not to feel if I choose to come out of this fucked up world, okay, I need to at least think that there's safety in the idea of otherwise. Do you see what I mean? That the concept of that within itself is flawed also. You have to see that there's such thing as otherwise. I hope this is not going to get ruined for you, but there's no such thing as the world that you're living in. So by default, what you're holding on to is a fake reality that does not exist and is only there for you to play your Shakespearean drama of lesser than.
Wow, that's a really good way to word it.
What you're looking for is a safety net.
What I'm looking for is a safety net. What it turns out
But you have created a world where there is such thing as a free fall. Like it's solid ground. Nothing is lacking. There's no lesser than.
I just need to take off the VR goggles.
Right, but you don't want to, because you want to continue to play the game of lesser than. And that is when my point is like, it's a choice into a game and you really like the game. And I'm not being rude. Everybody out there who's experiencing lesser than just wants to be in that game, which is fine, right? It is perfectly fine. But like, you have to admit to the enjoyment of the game.
I will admit to enjoyment of the game.
Right. And so like the disconnect is like, you can't go woozy me, or it's not enough, or I don't know how, or I don't even see that part. Yeah. Like, because you want to have experience of Earth in the lesser than. Yeah. Which is fine. Like, I can relate. I've been there. I'm continuing to do that in some aspects, right?
How does it look for you? Like, I think you said you just want to be done playing the game.
I want to. I'm not saying I'm succeeding all the time, but right now, to me, it's a practice of like how quick I can turn the knob from game to no game, right?
It's the triggers that push you back into the game?
Yeah. That's the whole point of the triggers, is that you have to have something that keeps you in the game, right? And our belief system is only there as triggers, right? Besides the fact that it actually also encompasses physicality, how physicality works. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's in there too. But that's irrelevant as far as triggers go, right? Like, so the definition of Earth and like time and space and movement of like everything, and then gravity and all that is part of the belief system. Like, that's like a blanket statement that gets put in as a baseline system, and then on top of that, we have personalized baseline systems. Right. And so like your pain trauma body of where nothing will ever be enough is a system that, like, in addition to like from computer system programming, like there's the core preset, like there you go in the video game, right? Like the Minecraft world has like terrains, right? And like trees and birches and like
underneath
water.
that, it has its idea of what physics is.
That's what I'm saying. The preset is physics.
Things fall, things exist or don't exist.
Yeah.
And on top of that, now we can start defining what types of matters and stuff.
Yeah. So the programming is the preset is the world, right? Like that, you come into a belief system, and part of one of your belief system is the world, right? And then part two is like the entity, right? Like Steve is the entity, right? And Elliot is an entity, yeah. Right? And so you come in, and so then the next preset is like, oh, here's an entity, and then the entity is physical because you're adding a chunk on top of the preset of the physicality, right? Like, here's how Steve expresses himself in physicality, right? And then the next chunk in our case is circumstances, right? And like to us, like most people will be like appalled to say that they're circumstances, but that's what they are. Your belief system, your identity, your trauma is circumstances.
I mean, I think that's a great word for it.
No, yeah, but it's very offensive, because the truth is, if I say your entire idea of there's never enough and I'll never be loved can be summarized to your circumstances.
No, that's not offensive. I think that's incredibly accurate.
I know, but go back to your child self, right? And if I say to your to your 2-day-old Elliot, that is not real. It's a circumstances that is forming your structure.
It would
Like
it would be offensive. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it would be offensive to like, this is my entire life. What are you talking about? And if I go like
circumstances, it feels like it's downplaying the significance of it.
Well, because you're drowning in it. The whole point of a life is so you will be viscerally experiencing the circumstances. And the only way for you to viscerally experience the circumstances is to believe that there's something greater than the existence of you. The whole point of you coming here is to experience drowning beyond comprehension, like visceral, oh my gosh, I've lived, right? In your case, like in most people's cases, like as lesser than, right? Because the truth is, like, there's no such thing as lesser than. So to live viscerally, you have to like have these like, whoa, and then there was the whoa, and then there was another whoa, and there was that moment. I'm like, whoa, that was a moment. Do you know what I mean? So like you have these peaks. Yeah, I knew that they're like these like little offshoots of visceral. Because, otherwise outside of this structure, everything is like super duper visceral and it's like super duper awesome. But like, like you're like, okay, well, so let's do some other visceral that is less than, and then this type and that type. And so like, everybody is its own little diva in its own little Shakespearean drama, right? What is that term? Oh, it's the term the kids use. Main character aura, like
main character, yeah. Right.
Main character aura,
something like that.
Is it? Yeah, like right, like we are that. Like we are.
No, everybody.
The main character
everybody
aura.
is the main character in their own story.
But there's no such thing as not their story. Like, do you know what? If you come in to experience Earth,
sure.
There's no other story. That is your story.
Yeah, your whole.
So you are the main character.
Your whole worldview is from your perspective, of which you are the main character. How could it possibly be otherwise?
Yeah. Well, like your worldview is there's, the preload chunk is physics. The second preload chunk is the physical interpretation of you as an entity. And then the next chunk is your determination of circumstances. So that's it, right? Like if you narrow down existence,
right.
There's nothing past that.
And what is interesting is that circumstances can be very subjective.
What do you mean?
Like two people can have the exact same physical circumstances.
Oh yeah,
and get wildly different things out of them.
Yeah. No, but it's actually never the same.
Right.
Yeah. So remember, I said like everyone's lens is so individualized because that belief system, that the presets of you from birth until now is like such an individualized interpretation of reality. But that's the whole point.
Right.
As you're growing the conscious experience of everything by having a very personalized experience of the exact same foundation as everybody else, right? Because the chunk is the same, right? Like we're all living on the same chunk. The physicality expression is the same, right? But that's what it is. Like video games are perfect because they quite literally describe experience Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it's individuality. And the individuality is the circumstances that are formed through the trauma and beliefs,
right.
and the circumstances of life.
And the way you individually interpret them.
There's no interpretation. It is a belief system that you program in order to only see things through your lens of your circumstances.
Right. Maybe that's a better way to word it. Yeah. Interpret almost implies that you're on the onesies going, this is good, this is bad. But it's more like you have a lens that only sees them.
Yeah.
These things are bad. These things are good, whatever it is.
Right. And only through your trauma and shadow.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what it comes down to. Like, right, the visceral is because the trauma and the shadow are there to form the circumstances of lesser than. Because the whole point of coming here is like, universe is not going to go, here's the truth. And then you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I'm just like vibing and whatever, right? Then, I don't know, right? That's boring. So then you have to be not vibing, and has to be peril of this and the peril of that, and
peril, right?
Yeah. So like you're right, and then in our case, just to tie it back into like there's you that is the circumstances, and there's the me that is the circumstances. And in our case, the entity of us that is our marriage or our relationship, like, had to be created as its own circumstances, because God forbid it functions on its own, like second to second. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you see it now?
I do.
Right. So like we hold that as an entity in order to make sure that we continue to have the same circle of experience. It's a choice into continuation of the same experience. Right. You want your thing to work, but you know you need me there in order to reinforce the same circumstances. And I know I need to my mistrust thing to work. So I will hold people in the same position, and our relationship is the keeping of the position. Right. Like, you will be in the position where you're my bounce off filter for my Shakespearean drama of why the world is untrustworthy. And that, so like, I need to keep you there, and our relationship is an entity for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Every relationship, if you think you're having a relationship and then you think there's like time behind the relationship, is technically
like a history,
time, whatever you want to call it, is technically there as a created entity to make sure that whatever your circumstances bounce off filter continues to exist. Right. Yeah. So remember,
it's just a collection of evidence.
Well, just continue to propagate the story.
Yeah.
Like, because the second you and I break off, like if you and I were to get a divorce and then we, move on from each other, your circumstances box, it disappears. Like, the circumstances bound through that you have had, right? So the loss there would be not in the relationship that you have with me, is Tanya is my only proof that nothing is ever enough. So like, if you are going to want to continue to live that story, you will need to find somebody else as a new proof that nothing is ever enough. I'm never enough. The love is never enough. There is no such thing as enough. It's always a lesser than. Right. But that's like, if you recognize that the circumstance box that is holding that truth here is a requirement for you.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's how I see the world.
Wow. That was good.
No, but like, right. So it's funny because, like I told you, like I said this, and it's like not a judgment at all. If I play a 3D game with you and we continue to have this box, the box exists in its locked circumstance, right?
Yeah.
So the second I remove myself out of this gameplay, you'll have your half of the box. And so you need someone to ping pong back your circumstance. And that if I don't ping pong back your circumstance, to you will be proof that your circumstance is right. And so you will continue to use me no matter what, as long as you're playing this box.
Right.
Do you see what I mean? Right. There's nothing, if you are only using me for the propagation of your circumstances, which you have been, and I have been on my end too.
Yeah.
And if you continue to have this box will continue to exist. And the way you position this box, even me not playing in that box, will be proof that this box still exists.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I see how I would interpret it that way. Absolutely.
Right. So you're golden. Yeah. Your Shakespearean drama will work no matter what.
I guess I can see how if you were in the depths of it and I removed myself, that would be proof perfect that, I can't be trusted at all. If you were in the depths of it. Yeah.
Wait, if I don't trust you.
And then I'm like, see ya.
Like, you leave the relationship?
Yeah.
You leave there. If I don't trust you, you leave the relationship.
Would that be evidence that I can't be trusted? Or not?
I don't know. I can't, it's hard for me to put myself into the 3D space now. I don't know. Right? Because like with me, my mistrust equates to separation. Right? Like, in the long run, if I mistrust somebody,
the goal is to separate.
Just to separate.
Oh.
Right. Like, how.
Well, then it just reinforces it from that side then.
That I can't. Yeah. So I can't trust people, but I don't actually want you there.
So then you've gotten what you want out of
I
it.
got what I want because in the long run, here's proof that I can trust you. So maybe, but it's difficult to feel that viscerally right now.
It's maybe more roundabout. Or maybe it's more direct. I don't know.
Maybe, I think it is more direct, but it's difficult for me to swizzle into there. But yeah, do you know what I mean? Like at some point I told you, like, it's just too much. Like I can be where I am, but then sooner or later I realized, wait, me being where I am actually reinforces your box. It reinforces the box.
I didn't get
do you
that.
see what I mean?
I get that now. I wasn't sure what you meant when you said that. Now I see.
Yeah, do you see what I mean? So it's actually the Shakespearean drama for you continues to propagate regardless of where I am. Like, in fact, it's actually better. For you, it's better for me to go somewhere else.
More visceral.
Well, yeah, because it's more proof. Right? But, this is not to discount human experience, but by default, if you are choosing to have a human experience on Earth in the original circumstance that you have picked to have the experience, the whole point of the circumstance is to experience lesser than. Do you see what I mean? So, like, it is very visceral and it's very real, and it really makes Earth amazing because it has so much flow and possibility for you to have the circumstances of lesser than. But the lesser than comes out of that preset of the childhood belief system that is the circumstances of your reality.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So functioning out of that space, you can never not get what you came here to get.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that is the design of the system.
That's your mission in life.
Yes. Yeah. Right. If you're a piece of software, like, that is the software. Like, no amount of positive thinking or affirmations or anything, like all of that nonsense, will ever do anything as long as you continue to function from the software that is the system, the chunk, the physicality, the circumstance.
Yeah, no, that's a good analogy. That is your mission
your mission in life is that preset. So to you, enough will never be enough because you came here not to have enough.
Right. I mean,
the whole point of that is not to have enough.
And I've even realized that over.
Well, you realize it like circumstance by circumstance.
Circumstance by circumstance. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, well, even if so-and-so continues to do this, while that feels good, it still doesn't work. Still doesn't fix it.
Well, yeah, but the preset is that not enough.
Yeah.
The story, right? The story is never enough. Visceral, not enough.
Wow.
Show me all the things that are not enough.
Right.
But like, we came here for that game.
I know this is largely what you said the other day, but it makes a lot more sense today. We're using our podcast voice and spelling it out in a different way seems to help me, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Like it's funny because it is like a beautiful experience, and no one should discount it. And I, like, in the long run, we take it for granted. Like, while we're in it, it is difficult to like, oh my gosh, look how beautiful this circumstances is. It's extremely beautiful. Like, everything is extremely beautiful, and it's extremely nuanced and like perfect. And I mean, like, if you think about it, like, what kind of architect could possibly design something like this and have it to be so beautiful, right? Like, and on top of that, imagine each intersection of a relationship, right? Like, my gosh, like, it is the most magical flow. So yeah, I kudos to the designer. Just absolutely magnificent, right? But then there's the Spanish learning and the Baha'i temples and all that. That's really important.
Why does it have to be closed on Mondays?
You know what? I want to say all museums are closed on Mondays.
Like in
Like even
in
in the
Chile?
United States.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for some reason I just remember that. But so yeah, Chile is not any different.
Right. And we had, 12 hours in the Santiago airport on a Monday, so we couldn't even do it then.
Yeah. Right. Like, yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't know what to say about the human experience other than like, it's a choice. Like, right. And then like, oh my gosh, how many people get angry at that? Like that's the thing is like, they want to be victim of their circumstances and they want the experience to be so believable that me saying that is a threat, such a big threat.
Yeah.
That like it has to be completely blocked off, like completely ignored. I have to be the bad guy and it's offensive and it's complete dismiss. Like the visceral amount of fight that goes into not accepting the choice is like crazy.
I think like I've said it before, where I don't know who said it. We maybe we can't control what happens to us, but we can control our response to it. But this feels like the next level of that is almost controlling the game itself or the mission in the game.
Yeah, but
control's the wrong word, but to like how I respond to something. There's how you respond to it internally, which is maybe the trigger, right?
Yeah.
And then there's how you respond in the outside world. Do you go punch a hole in the wall or do you say something calm?
Okay.
Which maybe some willpower is involved in that, right?
Okay.
And then there's like, this is happening in my life. This is my circumstance because I am choosing, this is my mission in life.
Because I want it.
Because I want it. Which is like, it
This
feels
is my
like,
game.
it feels
This
like
is my
that's
game.
another PhD level version of that same thing in some way.
Yeah, I guess. But then like the another level is like, but I came here to play the game. I came here for this and I came here to play this game. And then then there's the question is, what game do you want to play today? Is it the same game or do you want to play a different game?
Yes.
Oh, and then there's another level of like, what if I'm done with gameplay? And then the second you're done with gameplay, then like, I don't know. You have Electra?
Electra. Minecraft.
And then you're just flying and enjoying the scenery.
Maybe that's the game. That becomes your game.
No, like I'm right. I'm nowhere out of the game. Obviously, I'm still very much in the game.
You put it into creative mode.
Yeah, maybe we go into creative mode. Yeah, but I got warnings about the creative mode. Remember I told you I had my warnings where I got my ring of power or whatever, and then like the creative mode is response. There's no delay whatsoever. You know what I mean? So the second you get the creative mode and you make a wish, like you better be very careful what kind of wish you're making.
Evil genie style?
I don't know if it's evil. It's just, right, like our thoughts in the circumstances are not pure.
You know what I mean by evil? I say evil genie. What's it called? The sneaky genie who's like, oh, I want world peace. It's like, poof, everybody's gone.
No,
world peace, check.
It's not an evil genie. It's just you get what you want. But if you're in 3D, the only circumstances of three-dimensional space is lesser than. So the manifestation like that is just visceral, like, all right. Like think about the last 45 years, how viscerally you felt that nothing will be ever enough. and world proved to me that there's pure lack and lack only.
Yeah. Now imagine you're manifesting that second by second.
Well, just imagine squishing the waveform, and it's the 45-year like arc squished in like here and here and here, that viscerally. Like the feedback loop is gone, and then you're getting, here's the proof that I'm not wanted. Like, just, I don't even like, this is just like an extrapolating thought, but like I would, if I had to define the idea of hell, I think that would be it. Is getting the worst of your worst every millisecond. Like prove that this is bad, prove this is bad, prove this is bad. And it builds on itself, right? So if I had to like, there's no such thing as hell, right? Like it's from the biblical terminology. But if I had to like put a thought on it, that would be pretty hellish.
Right.
To get what you want. Like it's literally you getting what you want.
Right.
That's right. Like if you're not aware of what is it that you actually want subconsciously, right? Like the circumstance that caused you came here and play that game and you get it. Ooh. That's going to hurt. Like I applaud people for choosing that experience because it's going to be visceral. Like, right. Like think about the bravery you came here in order to continue to have that experience. Some advanced level shit. Yeah. Anyway, it's a whole other thought there.
I don't even know if I want to go down that path.
Well, no, but that's what's going to happen, right? It's already happening. People are right? Like people are choosing to stay in the circumstances, and the feedback loop is closing. So, like, how long can you upkeep that? I think the reason why so many people are exiting right now is because, like, the feedback, they know that the feedback loop, their soul level obviously knows all this. So your feedback loop is closing, and then the visceralness of this is just gonna skyrocket, right? And people who had enough are going, okay, yeah, that was enough. And so, like, I think a lot of people are exiting right now. But like, I don't know how long a soul can sustain that feedback loop without being aware of, their desired circumstance.
It reminds me of that. Remember when we were at the faux restaurant, and then you overheard there were 3 or 4 people talking, and one of them.
What city?
No, here. Whatever Moondog used to be.
I don't remember this.
We were sitting outside, and there was some group of people, and one of them kept saying like, "Oh yeah, my sister, well, she had a car accident 10 years ago, and then on the same day, 10 years later, she had another car accident, and then 10 years later, she got cancer, and then there's this every 10 years, some tragedy befalls her." It reminds me of that.
Yeah. But like, it's poetic. Like,
right.
Think about the beauty of the universe, where it's like there's these arcs.
Like the way I didn't hear it, but I heard you repeat it, and it was something like, basically she's afraid of, I don't know, Friday the 13th on every 5 years, every 10 years, because she knows on that day something awful is going to happen, and it's just like, universe proved to me that this day is cursed to me. Is what she's bringing forth, and she's convinced, and sure enough,
but like
something happens.
But like, how beautiful is that? The universe quite literally allows you to create reality.
Right.
You're Steve, and you're like in advanced creative mode, but you think you're not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what's happening. You are in creative mode, and you are like have unlimited reach, and the response loop is gone. Like, right. So like, there's no delay cycles anymore. And you're like manifesting like shit. You're manifesting the shit out of it. Like Steve is like next level at this point.
Super Steve.
Super Steve, right? Remember I said like this goes back to like, so right, the goal of the universe is to expand the conscious reach of experience through circumstance, right? So like the nuance and circumstance designs the expansion of consciousness, right?
Yeah.
And the set of circumstances, like this is just kind of like an interesting overlook, but that's just how it, like the universe works, right? There's only so many human types that I said, right? Like, well, let's say we have less than 50 type of experiential circumstances that we have, right? And everything else is like the over, like, right? So there's the chunk, right? That there's the physicality, and then there's the human physicality in the physicality, right? And then there's like presets, like baseline presets, right? Like male, female, like rich, poor, right? Like, I don't know, white, black, whatever all those things are, right? And then after that is like like soul specific circumstance, right? Like, oh, mom and dad, hate each other. I don't know what, or, dad's a Jew, mom's Ukrainian, there's the whole thing there. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a tiny specific circumstance, right? And like, and then with Elliot, whatever Elliot's specific circumstance are, right? And so the amount of nuances, wait, where was I going with this? Because I was connected to what? The amount of nuances, right, that we can generate are like endless. And I forgot where I was actually going with this because I got super excited about whatever that was. Anyway, the amount of nuances we can generate is like endless.
Super creative mode.
The what?
Super creative mode. Super Steve.
Yeah, Super Steve. And each one of us basically is a consciousness generating machine. And then we generate our specific set of consciousness based on these circumstances and the presets, right? And then like the expansion of that is just vast. Oh, and then then the feedback loop is closing on the extrapolation of the circumstances. Something about the feedback loop closing. I don't remember what it was, but I lost my train of thought. It's beautiful regardless of what it is. And, the mechanism is just primed. Oh, that's what it was. Right. So the feedback loop is closing, right? And remember I said, as time progresses and the experience of consciousness changes, because there's only so many presets, then like the circumstances of the chunk could also change, right? Like like Steve Chunks used to be a wood biome, and now Steve Chunk is a desert biome, right? Right. So
I'm impressed with your Minecraft vocabulary.
Well, I'm just using what's at hand. Right. And so with us, the squeezing of the feedback loop is another change in the biome preset. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
In addition to like the goal of consciousness always continue to insert propagation, and sooner enough, after we explore enough of like nuance and circumstances and nuance of physicality and nuance of things, then like the preset, right? Or like, let's say, or if you want to say Earth, it goes, okay, well, let's introduce an anomaly, right? Like, right, the anomaly that changes either the biome, or an anomaly that changes the physicality, or anomaly that changes the presets or whatever circumstances, right? And so like we are getting the inserts into the circumstances, into the physicality, and into the biome, because the net experience will continue to change, right? And the feedback loop is just squeezing, right? So like we're experiencing both the squeeze of the feedback loop that causes the expansion of the circumstances and / the biome / the physicality / the presets. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Yeah. So, like maybe see if we can remember this, because that's like a whole podcast. So like imagine baby boomers, and the baby boomers have a 60-year arc to not figure their shit out, right? The circumstances is like, whoa, and then like the whoa, and the Nazis and the Hitlers and the, I don't know what, Cambodian, Sri Lanka's conflicts, whatever it is. Just everything is whoa. But it's like these huge loops. But the biome is staying the same. The physicality is staying the same. The circumstances are pretty much a preset, right? Like, oh, I'm unlovable. No, can't trust anybody. I don't have anything. Things are out of control. Like those, that, there's only so many of those, right? Like we're not that interesting. And so then the loop is long, and I don't know what this length is. Like it's longer than the baby boomers, but I'm just giving you an example just because that's something you and I can relate to. And then over time, the feedback, basically the circumstances explore, consciousness builds, right? And then you have this like expansion and then like contractions, right? Like, right, we're in the contraction point to where it does not take us, let's say 60 years or 120 years or 380 years in order to have this expansion, right? Because we're now closing the feedback loop. And as the feedback loop squeezes, then what the physicality or the biome and the physicality and the circumstances have to do, they have to switch and introduce a different agent. I say agent, or what was the previous word I used? Whatever that was, right? And like, it like bloops itself into like another expansion.
Right. I
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's at least nowadays or in recent history that gets compressed. It's much, much quicker, but it's quicker for, I think, everybody, including the baby boomers are like,
no, it's quicker for everybody because the entire system, right, was on the expansion, and now we're in the contraction. And then the contraction by itself, the squeeze of that feedback loop, like just flips the circumstances into, like it has to introduce new factors in order to continue to then now explore a new set of circumstances / conscious expansions under a new set of circumstances. Does that make sense?
Do you think this is the first contraction?
No.
There have been multiple in the.
This is just the way the universe works.
In distant history, there have been others.
Yeah, I mean, this is just how everything works. It's just we are here to experience, a total contraction, because you and I are kind of like at the epiphany of like a huge feedback loop, because we're right there on the brink of like you don't even realize there's such thing as a feedback loop, right? Or like you can kind of like see it reverberating.
Right. It's if the
like the example of that lady that you said, like, oh, every 7 years or every 10 years, a huge accident happens to her, right? That is her arc of a loop. But the truth is, like, that loop has closed up.
Right. If the like there's this concept of like leading and lagging indicators
in computer science,
in like investing in the stock market. It's like, well, if the interest rate goes down, then home prices go up. But it's like after the interest rate goes down, home prices go up. Maybe it's days later, maybe it's months later. I don't know. I don't even know if that's true, but I'm making up an example, right? It's not like they track. It's like after this goes down, then this goes up. Or, after interest rates go down, the price of gold goes up. But it's after. And it's,
it's a side effect.
It's a side effect, but it's a lagging indicator. It lags after.
Sure.
It's like if that delay is really long, it's really hard to go, oh, this is because of this.
Yeah. It's a butterfly effect, except stretched out eons.
If it's a 10-year lag, it's really hard to take this effect and find that cause 10 years ago.
But think about that.
But if it's a day later, or if it's 5 minutes later, it becomes really obvious.
Yeah. But
when I eat that, chicken sandwich that's been in the car for 6 hours, 30 minutes later, I feel bad. That's pretty easy to correlate.
Yeah, but we had that, right? The system was functioning in that huge arc of the feedback loop to where it was more difficult to draw awareness because there was no need to draw awareness because it was harder to draw awareness, or because you were going to spend more time being blind about the reason why the universe is the way it is. Right. And now, because the universe has contracted, or our reality has contracted itself in, the feedback loop is closed. It is impossible to stay blind to your actions and then therefore visceral outcome of thereof. Right. The blindness is like, yeah, right. And you're like, whoa. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And if you become conscious enough or listen enough to, of this type of a conversation, it's difficult to be blaming someone else for the outcomes. Like, I do this, and then like you don't see how that flows out. But now I do this. Oh shit! All this stuff comes out, and then you start to question your sanity because you can no longer blame everybody else in the world,
or blame the universe,
or right. You can no longer go out and assign external factors to your actions.
There becomes accountability, a forced accountability.
Well, it's very forced. It's very visceral.
It's like, oh shit, I am literally doing this to myself.
It would be really difficult not to draw that conclusion. You would have to go insane to continue to pretend like that's not obvious. Like that's going to be very interesting to me, is how crazy will people be fighting the obviousness of their idiocy? It'd be very entertaining.
Get some popcorn.
No, I would love it. I cannot wait to see what the outcome of that is, because it will be so right. Like the present of awareness is like not feasible not to reach. Like you would have to fight to tooth and nail, and it will be hell. Like it will be so painful to continue to pretend your actions are not manifesting your reality. Like the goggles have been lifted, like, you're in creative mode and you see it. You're like, shit, I've been in creative mode this whole time.
Right.
But
I've been in creative mode the whole time, and here I am struggling to survive. And that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. But I mean, that oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. I say that knowing that not too long ago I was drowning in my creative mode.
Cosmically gorgeous.
No, it is cosmically gorgeous.
Maybe not gorgeous in the moment. But
the perfection of the architecture is like, I can't I can't even you.
Yeah.
What
how
would
you design this? It's great.
No, I don't even. Kudos to the designer. That's for sure. Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.